Welcome to Masalamommas. I'm Anjum Nair. Ladies, we know there's enough pressure on us in the South Asian community to get married to the right person, and we have to fit them all into these little boxes. Now imagine a woman who gets married to someone outside of her culture and to a man who has 2 children already. I'm excited to have Jasjit Sangha, our guest today. She's a stepmom, a mother of 4. So you talk frequently about feeling like an outsider when you first brought your husband into the family. Can you talk about that?
Well, the feeling of being an outsider was because I didn't really follow the typical Punjabi Indian dream, as in, you know, your child is going to get an education, they're going to marry somebody who's accepted by everybody in the family, and you're going to have kids and kind of like interact with the family. And so the reason I felt like an outsider was I'd go to family functions and everybody else had kind of followed that very traditional role, and it was very hard to kind of, you know, insert my experiences into discussions without, you know, feeling like I was being judged.
So now you got married and you obviously immediately became a mother of 2, obviously. So how did you adjust to that without even having that time to sort of get to know your partner and be in a marriage?
That is the hardest part about being a stepmother, and I think every stepmother will say that, which is that you have an instant family from day one. And not only that, you come to realize very quickly that your husband's priorities, and as they should be, are first to his children, right? You're kind of like second or third in line, as stepmothers often say. Right. And so that's a very hard adjustment, and that is part of what causes stress, I think, for stepmothers.
So how did you deal with that kind of pressure, obviously, to be successful in your role and adjust to the new position?
When I first became a stepmother, I think I used to take it very personally that somehow I was responsible for making sure that everything was perfect in the family. And I really feel like that is part of this kind of South Asian cultural value that we feel as women, which is the importance of family and how we should put our family's needs before us. And that caused me a lot of stress. So I found that I had to kind of go out of my way to take care of my needs to make sure that I wasn't always focused on everybody else and what they were doing.
So how did you do that?
One of the easiest ways that I did that, which I found was really great, was I started doing meditation and yoga. And I also made a strong effort to connect with other like-minded moms who I could talk to. Like kind of basically create a community, a support
group.
Yeah.
That's right, that's awesome. So you've got 2 children that are Punjabi and 2 children that are not. How do you bring in the right cultural mix to make it work for your family?
I found that was one of the hardest struggles of being a stepmother in a biracial family, which is deciding which values were important enough that I want to bring them into the entire family. And for me, the South Asian woman, I have to say that maintaining close family ties, maintaining close ties with grandparents, with extended family, going to family functions, you know, going to the Gurdwara, like all those kind of cultural activities, those were just really important to me. So there's certain times when I try my best to get the whole family together and, you know, with my stepdaughters and everybody. And sometimes it's only once a year. Sometimes it's Christmas time at my mother's house. But we all get together and you know, that's one way that I try and keep these values alive.
And that's how you get the exposure. So you talk a lot about your parenting perspectives in books that you've written. Can you talk about that?
So in my first book, Stepmothering: A Spiritual Journey, I focused more on my personal experience of becoming a stepmother in a biracial family and how I kind of dealt with the pressure and stress that I faced, and how I engaged in almost like a personal transformation through that process. For the second book, it's called South Asian Mothering: Negotiating Culture, Family, and Selfhood.
Which great topic.
Yeah, and the title kind of says it all, right? How are South Asian mothers negotiating, you know, all the cultural pressures we face, along with trying to take care of our own needs and, you know, live up, you know, trying to decide how we're expected to live up to all these ideas of being the perfect mother, putting our families first, and, you know, what it means to be a South Asian woman.
Well, we're really excited to share these books with our viewers, and you've got some great advice today. Thank you so much for being here, Jasjit. Jasjit's got a great column on our site called Stepmothering. We'd love to hear your comments and get your questions. Join our conversation on masalamommas.com.